What up, family? It's been a minute, but I'm back up in it. Peace and love to the family, mother, father, child. I got a special person in my life on the motherfucking live stream with me today, or live stream. Let me get that right. But on the live screen, my little bro. We talk about a lot of things, and for instance, it's been a lot of growth between the two of us from young males to the men that we are today. Oftentimes there's a difference in ideology as well as beliefs and the difference between belief and knowing. But I'm glad to say, I'm able to keep a great relationship, a pure bond. I don't have to patronize my little bruh. We can talk about anything. So we thought it would be very key to allow other brothers as well as sisters in on this conversation. So pull up a chair. Welcome to the round table. I'm gonna let him come in, and we just gonna pop the conversation off from there. We ain't gonna even hold it up, bruh. He
Yep.
go by the name of Mello or whatever you would allow them to call you. Go ahead, bruh.
And they can call me Melv until I get to know him.
Yeti or Mello if you're nasty. Huh? Nigga, you stupid. He said till I get to know him. But like just to pick up where we left off at, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, one thing I noticed, like me, you, Rodney, as well as a few other brothers that's probably on your end, you know what I'm saying, are some of the few people that I can talk to on a level of understanding, like when people come and go, when it comes to this information and how people can be turned off. Because, early in the beginning, I'm pretty sure I turned you as well as a few other people off in certain ways. Not probably you as much, but maybe made a nigga question some shit like, fuck this nigga on, you feel me? But also it was kind of my point at the same time, you know what I mean? Um, Still, it's a way to go about things, is what I'm learning. When you're trying to use that shock value, you gotta also recognize how this could affect the next person, as well as how this can be interpreted. And this is all me, bringing up from us talking about how hard it is to get people together and actually talk about the solution rather than sitting around just complaining. We the
Yep.
world's greatest at finding the problems, which is probably why we the most inventive people. And some of us do after finding a problem, create a solution. And I think that's something that connects all the way across the board, especially with our relationships, because everything is a relationship. So when it comes to what's important in life, if I had to start from square one, the first thing in man's life that was important to him was survival. You know what I mean? And from there, if he came across a woman as well as he came from a woman. So the first responsibility he had in his survival was to, when he was able to take care of himself, he was having to fend for his mother, his sisters, and the rest of the women in the family. You know what I mean? That's what made him a man. But today I feel like, you feel like because you came to a certain age, um, that's what make you a man. I feel like these are titles that are representative of basically actions. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Yeah. Yeah.
these
You become. You
these titles
become.
denote functions. What
Yeah.
you
You
finna say?
become legally a man when you really
Right.
ain't
You
ready.
feel me? But it's like, yeah, you legally able to get what's the word? Prosecuted, you feel me? As well
Right.
as be responsible for your actions, but there's really no accountability. You know what I mean? And I felt like
Oh yeah.
that shit is lost on our people because of the breakdown in culture. In other cultures, there's a rite to passage. Like I know, for instance, off the top of my head, the monks, or I mean, in Asian cultures, they have like I wouldn't say they call it a rite to passage, but they had this little thing where, as monks, they go through different transformations where they be like, they might be in total darkness for 30 days. to where they just have nothing but their thoughts to deal with. You feel me? And it teaches a person, how to spend some time with themselves. So they not so as we would call it narcissistic, needing that immediate gratification. And when people are not giving that to them, they feel like you useless, or they start to mistreat and abuse people until they get the desired results that they seeking. You feel me? So I feel like it's a lot of immaturities that first start within us, and then we project that shit on the other people. So when you think about that shit, it's like as far as relationships go, when we have a relationship with the planet, we have a relationship with people, we have a relationship all the way across the board. I think it's something that we definitely have to address. And our relationship as those truth seekers or those open-minded people that are looking for solutions, that tend to be, we teachers represent solutions, you know what I'm saying? So you tend to be propped up by the people as a teacher. So in our solution finding, we gotta look at it like, dang, okay, what's some of the major solutions that are necessary in our community? And relationships is like one of the first things that stuck out to me. How you feel
So
about
yeah, one of the so you want me to go in on what I think one of the first solutions we can utilize as a community?
I mean, yeah, get surgical with it. Point out a problem. One of the, like, off the top of your head. Okay, let me phrase it as a question. All
Yeah,
right,
phrase
off
as a
the top of
question.
your head, what's the main problem in relationships in the Black community, and how does this affect the children? And of course, what's the solution that you see that can be implemented?
Hold on 1 second. Let me push pause for 1 second. I'm gonna be back in like 10 seconds. I gotta go get this bug because I know they finna go crazy. Hold on.
All right. I'm gonna build on it a little bit. All right, family. Shit. While brother step away for a second, I'm gonna expound a little more on what I was just talking about as far as like for me, I answer that first. For me, one of the first things that come to the top of my brain is I lack a he back. All right, go ahead, bruh. You back for good, or you
Yeah,
need a minute still?
and it was just a bug about to crawl into the room. I just had to
You
get
know
that for
how
the
that go.
kids. Start running
That would
crazy.
have been a fire, boy.
But yeah, I don't know where you
Want
was
me?
at, but in my
I ain't go
honest
nowhere.
opinion, in my honest
Let me say
opinion
the
about
question.
yeah, go right it back.
All right, off the top of your head, bruh, what's the issue within our community as far as male and female relationships? How does this affect the children as well? What's the solution that you feel like we can implement and expound, on going further?
Right, right. Man, it's okay. So for me, it's so many layers to that question. It's a bunch of things that cause the problem. If you want to ask me, uh, but I think the the first and the biggest problem
And
has to
yeah,
be
back up a little bit.
yeah the biggest problem to me has to be care. We gotta I don't give a fuck mentality. You know what I'm
True.
saying? And I think there's a lot of care that's lacking. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about nothing. You know what I'm saying? We wilding, we doing us, we don't care enough. Uh and when you're talking relationships, you know what I'm saying, when you have that type of mentality about other things, naturally that's gonna flow into a relationship and you're just gonna, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be in it for the more shallow type of things. You're gonna be in it for the more superficial things, and then when it ain't going how you want it, you're gonna want to check out, so to speak. Uh, I mean, of course, not having good examples is gonna be, uh, is gonna be a
You hit that
problem
shit
for.
on the head right there. 'Cause that's exactly what
Yeah,
I was going to say. We got to deal with the
I mean,
childhood too.
everybody don't see a good example of what a relationship's supposed to be like.
Mm-mm.
Not that there's a right way, you know what I'm saying? Because your relationship ain't gonna be like mine, but you know,
Right, right. It's
but
about what works for you and your partner.
right, but you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You kind of slick need to have seen a stable relationship at least once. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? In
right.
this society, the way this shit set
Yeah.
up.
I feel like it got to be some kind of like structure. You feel me? Like, and what I mean by structure, because we know, for the most part, if we be honest, no matter, nah, fuck it, I got to speak from my perspective. If we be honest, our culture was taken from us to an extent, to the point like family structure, that shit is on some skeletal, bare minimum, what we understand about that. All we understand is, for the most part, we gonna need mother, father. Sooner or later, there comes a child. You feel me? And the mother and
Mm.
father will be responsible for that child. Now, from there going forward, the mentalities is necessary for a man and a woman to maintain the consistency in their relationship. You know what I'm saying? Those that's what we kind of left, out to dry. Like a lot of times, when you get older, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. And honestly, we are, because a lot of times we are taught these false sense of what a relationship will be. Like for the males, we taught, when a girl love you, she'll let you do whatever. You feel me? Like, and we seeing this because we seeing it as kids. Like women who really love their man, you feel me, for the most part, they held on to him. That was the understanding that we got because we wasn't allowed in on the conversation for the most part. You feel me? Or if they
So
love this man, what'd you say, bro?
I was gonna say, so we can say some of the how do I say it? The falsehoods that we were taught by parents, by religion, things like that, kind of made us immature in relationships, so to speak.
Yeah,
You know what I'm like? We didn't get to grow organically in it because there's so many you know, pit holes and you know what I'm saying, and hiccups and bumps in the road, and I can't act on this emotion, and I gotta wait till I'm this old for this, and you know what I'm saying, type all these types of things stop the natural flow of things.
right. And
But
I
go
feel
ahead though.
like,
Yeah, I just want to throw that in.
nah, you good. Shit, this the round table shit. Everything said gonna come all the way back around full circle. You feel me? Everybody got something to break bread on. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the relationships, you know, everything that we do is a direct reflection of what we seen. And what we seen allows us to feel a certain way about ourselves based on what we felt like is possible and what we felt like the reasonings for this shit happening to us. It's like the cause and effect type of thing. You feel me? Once you get the shit, and the cause and effect is a full circle thing. You feel me? Because sometimes it can be, the way we deal with our relationships is an effect of something that was caused when we was a kid. You feel me? It don't always have to be cause and effect. It can be effect and cause. Is all I'm trying to say. You feel me?
Oh
Now,
yeah, like
when I say that, for me, it's like, in order for me to, properly understand where somebody coming from when it comes to that, like my problem is, well, what I say off the top of my head, my freestyle with us is,
like
we have a lack of understanding of positioning. Like, and positioning has been left to be defined by, a ruling culture or a perceived ruling culture. So therefore, we operate within, what the perceived ruling culture tells us that a black man act like, or what a black woman act like, and from there, we try to figure out what we, how to work within that shit. And to me, I feel like that's where we fuck up at, because when me as a black man tell my black woman submit, it don't mean the same thing as what the next group or the next person may mean when he tell a woman to submit. So with that being said, given that we do live in America where it's a cluster of people, with different backgrounds. You feel me? Some of them connected to their culture, some of them not. But when it comes to us, I feel like it's a loss when it comes to how we treat each other and what we feel like is necessary. What up, D Money? And what we feel like is appropriate on how we treat each other in public. How we treat each other in private and how we treat each other in public is the issues that I feel like is lost on us because of the lacking culture. And honestly, the lacking culture is like I'm almost saying two different problems. You feel me? But they kind of go together. You know, to me, not having culture affects how I view my woman. Um, because you don't have a set ideal of her position, so you can't appreciate her, and vice versa. You know, for a man to hear a woman say she got everything she need and she don't need no man, that shit kind of like, it's like, damn, I can't be your man. I can only be a boy around you. Because, based on how I feel about a man and a woman, it denotes function to me. You feel me? I can nurture my children, but I can't out nurture them when it comes to their mother. You feel me?
Right, right.
Like, that's how you got here. So I'm beat on that all top, on the nurturing part. You feel me? That 9 months of nurturing, come on now. You know what I mean? And not to say I had nothing to do with the inception of that. Even the environment outside of that. You feel me? So not taken away from me or the balance of the two. I just feel like a lot of times we get caught up in the subculture or the perceived ruling culture to the point we forget it's more or less about balance when it comes to our black love, or I wouldn't even say a black love, an energy of love. It's all about balance. You know what I'm saying? Now you will figure out in the watch what group or what groupings believe more in or live more by this energy of love. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, at the end of the day, there's room for both love and hate. But some people tend to lean more towards one or the other, and that's going towards another conversation. But another thing, next question up for the debate, unless you got something else you want to talk about with that, like like I said, my solution is basically talking things out with your mate, figuring out what they ideal relationship is, like the shit that you was supposed to do in the beginning that we used to do, like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
And
mean,
sometimes go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, another thing I think is just that's just key, even if you've never seen a healthy relationship or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's just like I think sometimes people get in stuff and or in relationships and they don't want it. And it's I don't understand that. So like why jump into something that you don't want? Like when it really go against, you know what I'm saying, your whole being when you with somebody but you stay with them, like, you know what I'm saying, we got to be a little stronger. I know sometimes in situations, you know, financially and things like that, like say you got a spot with your girlfriend and if y'all
Mm-hmm.
break up it's like who gonna pay the rent type shit, you know what I'm saying? But like
From the bill.
ultimately it's just, yeah, ultimately we gotta just go ahead and deal with that type of shit, like, cause it like what's the point of you being unhappy? Like that's the like, you know what I'm saying, that's like the craziest thing that people do is put themselves in situations where they unhappy. So
Right.
I think one of the another main thing is just make sure you happy. You know what I'm saying? If you're not happy with one girl, then go get you two. Like just be real about it though. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think, you know, that's what I was saying. The religions got a stigma on what a relationship got to be. So like
Mm-hmm.
everybody don't have monogamy in their bones like that. Everybody ain't cut like that. At least you know in certain phases of their life. So when you try to act like you want to be monogamous and you really not there yet, then you just, you know what I'm saying, you asking for trouble. So you need to operate in that mode that your body's in. You got to be real with yourself. Now, if you got a indoctrination, so to speak, that's in the way of, you know what I'm saying, you know, being you, you got to deal with that because nature is the truth. You know what I'm saying? But however you really feel is how, you know what I'm saying, you should be living.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, yeah, I mean that
But too
goes
often,
pretty much across the board. One more time.
I was just gonna say, too often some people don't know their own energy. So
Yeah, you got to know
that's why I
yourself.
was
You know what
saying
I'm
there's
saying?
gotta be that right passage. That time where you really get the chance to know yourself. Um, too often we going through all these traumatic experiences. We ain't had no time to get to know ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And we
Mm-hmm.
picking mates based off of what status quos that later become stereotypes. Like, I remember at one point in time it used to be like, it wasn't even, it was unsaid that women's bodies was built a certain way, and we understood that certain groupings of women had certain body types. You feel me? We just knew the majority of them women look like this. You know what I mean? And then as time went on, um, these like today's time, these ain't the only group of people that look like it. You feel me? To the point you can just say, hey, dang, that lady got a black woman body, or that lady got a white woman body. It's like, dang, she got body. So I said, I
Mm-hmm.
like to say, like, even in our relationships, today the lines is getting blurred. Um, I always say you got to appreciate our differences in order to even have a relationship. Like when you're talking about people that appear different. Um, like, you know what I'm saying? People that appear different. So now they are put in different ethnic groups based on politics and, social configurations or constructs. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about that, like when it comes to that, there's a history behind that, as well as there's a mind frame behind that. But within black people, you can have a black mother and a black father, and based on how much we are out of touch with our true selves, as well as having so many pressures put up on us at a time, to the point, you kind of gotta learn on the job, as well as deal with the trial and error without being so hard on yourself. You feel me? To where you just don't do nothing. It's
Right.
only those who recognize that it's okay to fuck up sometime that make it. You know what I mean? Those that are too scared to mess up, they'll never figure it out, because they'll always be trapped within the confines of, damn, if I do this, this gonna happen. But never recognizing choosing to not do shit is still defeat. You know what I mean? And once you start down the road of trying to recognize who your enemy is, like shit, we grew up in the hooked on phonics era. We recognize now shit. You slow that shit down still. Your inner me. In trying to find your enemy, you start figuring out who your enemy is. Even if it's to recognize, like, look, damn, I don't know if I can defeat this person like that. I don't know if I should just come straight up on them like that, because my talents is this. My strengths is this. You feel me? Either way it go, when you in battle or you dealing with warfare, you have to strategically, analyze yourself. You hear me? And through analyzing yourself, you have revelations, and now you able to do battle. But too often we doing battle with each other in a relationship instead of, you know, sharpening steel with each other mentally. You know what I mean? All of us becoming attracted to each other's minds more so than what we can physically get the next one to do, or what we can physically get the next one to do. Cause that's a large umbrella. You feel me? So when you think about that shit, it's like a lot of us have to become more sapiosexual, as well as a lot of us
Had
have
to
to
get.
spend more
You had to
time
be
with
more what?
ourselves. Sapiosexual, which basically means you're attracted by mental stimulation, uh, versus just being stimulated by your what your eyes see or what you perceive a person to be, rather than what they really are. because you only gonna get to know that from, you know what I mean, getting to know
Oh
their
yeah.
thoughts. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, shit, that shit's critical. uh, I mean, yeah, I mean, looks is definitely a good thing, uh, but it's shit for the long run. If that's all you got, that shit gonna fall off.
You feel me?
I mean,
And so like if we gonna have this rites of passage, one of the things that gotta be is, we gotta allow for our youngsters as well as, we already in this process. And I feel like too often our generation, we don't want to recognize that we like the sacrificial lamb at this bitch. You feel me? Like we in between two different generations to the point it's like what we do now is going to determine what's going to happen for the future as well as the end for the generation in front of us. Like how they going to live the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? So it's imperative that we have these conversations as well as we start a rites of passage. Like, I know they got rehab centers for people that's trying to, acclimate themselves outside of a certain lifestyle. But we have to create environments that are like assimilated rehab centers for our people, like through this information. Like I'm ready to be on the phone with my brothers and be like, man, bro, I feel like you just portaled me in to an experience, to some wisdom, to the point when we got out the phone, I'm charged up. You know what I'm saying? More so than feeling drained because I'm on this phone and it's pulling shit, water out of my head, the electricity is burning cells, you know what I mean? All kind of shit. But I'm more so able to see the duality of life. And through seeing the duality of life, I'm able to appreciate the dualities in the relationships that I have in life. To the point it's like, for me, the rites of passage must start with one, getting to know the duality of you. You know what I'm saying? And from there, you can get to a point you can appreciate the duality of you meeting anybody else. You know what I mean? And I also like I feel like this is a great segue to the next topic. Like I feel like it's not enough study of the man studying what the woman's functions are. Um, just studying her whole makeup, her whole embodiment to the point like, you know what I'm saying? You can appreciate most men appreciate cars because they know like you ask them questions about that shit, they can tell you everything about that motherfucker. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? When it comes to that woman, shit, you could mistreat her, do anything to her. You feel me? But you hit that card like Dick Curry used to say, man, it's gonna be all hit. They gonna pop their trunk on you. You know what I'm saying? But they woman, you get talking crazy to her, they might tell her, bro, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been guilty of that shit myself. So I know that it's true. And it all comes from a programming that comes from, the people around you, the food that you digest that makes you in a compromised state, as well as the music. I used to be the first nigga to be like, man, that ain't the music, da da da. Like, yeah, if you got a mental state of I ain't finna let this shit affect me like that, I know what's what, but it don't change the fact over time. Even if you know and you do wrong, guess what? Since you know when you do wrong, the shit still gonna work on your ass. You feel me? Like if I keep on listening to the same song talking about that dumb shit, I might not put myself in a situation where I gotta do some dumb shit, but should I be in one? Chances is I already done told myself when you get wrong, this gonna happen. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So when I ain't got time to think about it, guess what's gonna happen? The shit that I
right,
said was gonna happen before now. And that ain't rocket science. As well as you got the movies. Like when we was coming up, I look back and I watched some of the movies, bro, that we watched. Some of the Discovery shit, some of the mainstream movies that was at the movie theater. The first movie that I was allowed to go see by myself, and I recognized like, damn, how I got here. You feel me? To the point. That's why I be so fired up sometimes when I do like have these conversations with my parents. Like, bro, I'm the person you raised me to be
yeah.
without wavering.
Like
I
it's literally
yeah.
in the name of it. It's called a television program. Like
Mm-hmm.
it don't get no clearer.
Neurocinematics.
Like This shit's a program, like they say. You know what I'm saying? It has an intent behind it. It's not just
Mhm.
for entertainment. It's so that they can groom us to be the people they want us to be. Period.
And then you got a science called neurocinematics. You feel me? That's an obvious sign that the intent is what is taking place. It's a programming, you feel me, so intense to the point we got multiple names for this shit. Like, you know what I mean? You can deny it if you want to, but the truth needs don't need your recognition. You feel me? But one thing we can't deny is the fruits of that shit, right? I can remember a time and a place where shit, Wayne had that shit was funny how he was at, but it's a time
You
and a
said
place
Wayne
today
Head?
where they had like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they ain't never heard of Wayne Head. They ain't
Man,
never heard. You feel me?
I forgot about
Okay,
that.
I give you even simpler one. Little kids running around
Which,
with Jordans on, they ain't never seen them play.
man,
You know what I'm saying? Of course, we know it start with the parents, but you got kids that's getting older and buying that shit they sell, and it's like, come on, bro. We know this shit is real. So it's to the
yeah.
point now we got the control of the program. Shit, they broadcast the NBA game through YouTube. You feel me? I'm out in the world. People telling me, "Hey, man, I was watching YouTube last night." Da 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 da. Da. So it's
Hmm.
like we already done took control of this shit, but we gotta take it to another level when it comes to the solutions. The solutions gotta be something that's a conspiracy. It can't
Hey,
just
I'm
be
getting
like
you.
one angle.
Your voice
What'd you
cutting
say?
in and out just a little bit.
Ah, okay. I was just saying the solutions got to be almost like a conspiracy. You know what I mean? It can't be from just one angle. If we hit it from one angle, then that's leaving other shit open. And from there, you already know that's how everything comes. That's how everything crumbles. But what was I saying? The segue was how we how we oh position it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, for instance, I'm gonna give an example. If um if a woman is told that a man gonna provide, and all right, we got 2018 rules, for instance. She think a man gonna provide by going to the warehouse and being able to pay all the bills, because that's what she seen growing up. Now that might have been in
Right.
1990, you know what I mean, early 2000, but shit, just a few years later, 20 years later, you know what I'm saying? That shit don't fly. One income from a nigga working at a warehouse ain't gonna cut it. Not unless,
Nope.
well, I don't even know. Not unless he's supervisor, but if you trying to keep up with the status quo of the programming, you feel me? It's
Yeah.
not gonna happen. You feel me? You're not gonna be going on no vacations with this nigga. It's not happening. So when it comes to why people cheating, why they doing X, Y, Z, because in order to get this conversation where you talking about you want your cake and eat it too, it's because this person want to have some enjoyment in their life. But in order for them to have enjoyment in their life, this person got to be over here because this the only person care enough to invest in their enjoyment. And now this person over here is alone enjoying this shit by themselves. And after a while, the perversion of being by themselves turns into a seed that eventually blooms into, what I mean, somebody cheating. But it's not something that just happens overnight. It's not like the first day a motherfucker go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm finna, hey, that nigga finally got a job. Bet. You know what I mean? And when you done seen that shit play out from a child, as well as being a person in the position of being a victim from that shit, as well as the person doing that shit, you get to a point it's like it's time out from being petty and choosing sides. It's more so like, look, let's find some understanding in this shit so we can stop the repetitiveness of our errors without a seemingly lesson being learned from it. Like, you ain't gonna keep on doing something that's not productive, generation after generation, if you learn it from that. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
in learning from it, in my personal experience, I realized like, and I this ain't for every man. I realized most of the men that was, the fathers in my generation, of my generation, they was like growing through growth periods, like where they, they was humbling themselves and trying to get by and doing whatever it took to get by. But some of these men, they achieved greatness, and the women that they was with when they was kids, you know what I'm saying, all the way up until they achieved their shit, they couldn't stomach the changes that was taking place, as well as these women still seeing them as less than. And it's hard to fight this battle outside to maintain your position that you earned. Like these people had to fight for that shit, whether it was a woman or a man. But I'm speaking from the man standpoint right now. The men that I seen, they were fighting for their positions in the world, and to have to come home and fight with their woman. A lot of these men, as they was getting older, they weren't going for that shit. So they found women
Yeah.
that understood where they was. And a lot of times, shit, these women were so understanding to the point eventually they left. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like a motherfucker was just like it was some calculated shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna start off with this one. Then once I get enough out of this one, I'm gone. You know what I mean? It was more or less like for some men that was progressive, their house became the place that was the place of trauma for them. And it was because the person they was with went through so much trauma to the point when they was successful, they wanted to cling on to them tighter, as though like they success represent them being deceitful, or you know what I mean, them thinking they was better than them. I really can't pinpoint it, but I know
Yeah.
for me, the solution I seen was, man, look, no matter how much I transform, I never forget where I started. I never forget, the person who made me be honest with myself, and then being honest with myself, I'm able to be honest with everybody else. So I don't limit my relationship, knowing that this is a possibility, as well as giving me knowing my energy. I'm a Gemini Cancer. You feel me? Me knowing my energy. Born June 21st. That's two again. You feel me? 6-2 again. You feel me? Like shit all up in my shit, as well as I can give you experiences from all the way up until now, where this duality was blessed up on me. Because I ain't gonna act like it was a problem. You feel me? But it was blessed up on me by the queens. I never shit. You know how this shit go. They choose you. So we're not gonna play like I'm just some wizard or some shit. You feel me? Like you learn to grow into who you are, and then growing into who I am, I realized there was more options than what I was taught as a child. I ain't have to, get to a point in a relationship where I felt like, you know what I'm saying? My life is expanding in this direction, so let me cut this off. That's to me like that's the lack of seeing the connections. And when you compartmentalize shit, that's like going back to what we was talking about with the mental state. When you always compartmentalize and shit and you can't see the connections, it's always hard for you to have a full thought and see the full spectrum. So it's like you can
Mm.
see it's hard for you to see the truth. Like you just have an opinion. You feel me? Because you're not seeing the full spectrum. I feel like the truth can only be
Yeah.
derived from seeing the full spectrum and shit. And the truth, you know what I mean, is that which exists at its lowest common denominator. You feel me? So when it comes to relationship, I feel like the truth in that is that it does exist, that we have a biological makeup, which allows each one to have an advantage in certain events as well as certain climates. So if we can appreciate the truths about each other, you know what I mean, based on just starting with the body, and like utilize it for what it's really for rather than the perversion, because we're not using it. That's the duality. So when you're not using it for its proper use, it becomes a perverted use. You feel me? So when you think about, we always talking about black on black crime, police killers, all that shit. To me, bro, I done heard more about abortions. Uh, fuck, we just think of abortion. I done heard more about abortions, bro, than anything. And to me, I feel like that's one of the biggest killers of our people before we even know they exist. You can't like
Oh
you can't
yeah,
even possibly really put a cap on that shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Before we go into that abortion thing, I just want to say
I
one
don't
thing.
even know. That'd be for a long time ago. I don't even want to go there.
What the abortion thing?
Yeah, like that'd have to be a whole like I feel like that should be like a mental health conversation like by itself.
Yeah. Well, one
But
thing I
it's on
want to
some
plug in
relationship
about
shit. Go ahead.
yeah, one thing I wanted to plug in about the relationship. It go back to what we were saying about getting to know yourself. So uh, that's one thing that we don't do because the society has kind of groomed us to not even take time to just sit with ourselves, especially for these kids growing up. It's going to be important for them to hear, take time to get to know yourself because Facebook, Instagram and things like that got you looking at everybody else, people you don't know, and you worried about what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you got people taking pictures with these filters that got a halo of sunshine behind their head, and they got exaggerated eyeballs and shit with glitter lips, but they miserable. But they creating an illusion in your life like they doing good. And that ain't true for everybody. But I'm just saying, when you taking so much time to look at what everybody else is doing, that's that's you know even how much time you spending looking at them is how much time you're not looking at yourself, and you're not worried
Mm.
about your situation. So that's one
Or
thing
not
that
taking care of yourself
we
properly.
yeah, that's one thing we gotta be, very aware of is how much time. Like, who are you? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't need nobody to tell you who you are because you.
Hey,
You know what I'm
somebody that's
saying?
thought about what you said that we're gonna go back and forth with this part.
Yeah,
Hey, when you say who are you, a lot of people get offended when you say that shit because they never asked themselves that. You ever thought about
yeah.
that?
I know that's another
Like,
thing. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing. Like, and it's especially in this day and time, that's something that people will have to have brought to their attention. Like you spend your childhood, you try to impress your friends. You want to keep, you want to have your little homies that you run around with. You try to get the girl. You do all this stuff, and then when slick get into adulthood, you got social media. Like you don't have time to really, what I'm saying. You don't ever look in the mirror except for to make sure your line fresh, and then
uh-huh.
you jumping off the porch. You know what I'm saying? Like you out there, uh, just trying to maintain the image, so to speak.
Right.
Uh, so it's sad that we would have to even say that, but it needs to be said. Like take time to look at yourself, literally. Like after you done made sure your makeup straight, now look at yourself.
Right, right.
Like, are you happy? Who are you? Like, what is it that you like? Like, what do you like though? You know how many times you'll ask people that question and they'll be like, "What you mean? What do I like?" Like, that's an easy ass question. What do you like?
But
Like,
that
how do
that
I have to how do I have to explain that question to you? Like, you know what I'm saying? People don't even think. Like, use some critical thinking here. Like, what do you mean? What do I mean? What the hell do you like? Period.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Who the hell are you? What do you do?
Do you think you was meant to be doing what you do? You know what I'm saying? The
Man,
motherfucker be like, I ain't never thought of that.
everything's so superficial and it's so shallow. Which I mean, and let me make sure I clarify this. There's nothing wrong with a lot of the things that we do. It's the amount of time we spend doing them.
And the
You
lack
feel
of
me?
understanding of why.
and the reason why you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So like everything, like you can't water good for you, but you can't drink it all damn day. You know what I'm saying? So like everything is a balance. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
And if you don't know who you are, then the scales is heavily tipped in in the favor of the
In the face.
opposition.
Right. And you winging it. You feel me?
You
And that's why
winging
I
it.
kind of feel like we gotta sacrifice the ideals of what we thought was true before and what we think is true now. Like, because
Mm,
a lot of this shit in 2018, if I heard you correctly, we breaking down how we even created filters to not see what's real. You know what I'm
man.
saying? And these filters done grew to the point so much so that we create 3D versions of ourselves to the
Yes,
point you don't
sir.
even know who you really dealing with. Can't really do no homework on the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? They gotta genuinely open up to you. Or you
Hey,
gotta
you remember what?
accidentally.
My bad. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just in the, riffing off of the fact that like we really gotta be that going back to the sacrificial lamb type of shit. Like it ain't no way possible you can see the effects, or our parents could have seen the effects of being integrated into school until we was grown. And then we started dealing with our children. Now they seeing the effects. They might not be happy with it, but now that you not, you understand your complaint. Now ask why we like this. You feel me? But it ain't obvious already. I'll tell you we was lied to in school and we recognized a lot of the lies and we like, you know what? We gotta rebuild this shit. You know what I'm saying? We gotta educate ourselves about
Oh yeah.
ourselves. And that's the problem with our relationships, whether it's the problem with the mother and the child, all the way to how we develop our relationships based on our relationship with our mother. A lot of us just
Yeah.
grew up in the house with our blood mothers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there might have been interchanging counterparts, but a lot of us, for the most part, the most consistent person was our mom. And when you think about that
Mm,
shit, for males, which is the standpoint we speaking from, you tend to judge women based on the fact that you seen your mama be strong and be able to do certain shit. But I'm here to tell you, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the shit I seen my mama do, she wouldn't have had to do. Shit, she had, a man in her life. And when she did get a man in her life, she didn't. You know what I mean? But a lot of times at that point, I was off doing my own thing. You know what I mean? So I
mm,
missed that. But I had to, analyze throughout my life now, constantly checking myself, looking at myself, you feel me? And being like, dang, hold on. Is there more you can do? Did you learn anything today from putting yourself into an experience and experiencing life? And from your experience
yeah.
calculating and exacting what's for you to, go forward with. And to me, that's what I mean by us being the sacrifice. Everything right there, taking what's for us to go forward with. Because the shit that's going on in 2018, it comes from a lot of facade. But that shit started with our parents. It was a facade of, we're gonna integrate and everything is gonna be hunky dory. And not to say integration was wrong, not to say separation is right. I'm saying like us being in the middle of the gap, you can only see what was wrong and what was right at this point.
Yeah.
So for the
Well,
people
yeah. I
that's gonna
mean,
speak that truth, they
for
gotta go ahead.
yeah, like you said, as far as them making decision to integrate or to stay separate, or like they was just doing the best that they could. Cause um, one thing I've come to find out in my studies is that uh, the opposition, and when I say the opposition, I mean the elite minds and the people who monetarily control the world. The opposition already had, they was playing chess before while we was playing checkers. Put it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, they got an extra pawn in their pocket type shit. Like, um, so I think it's a whole lot deeper than what they could have ever fathomed anyway. They was just doing the best of what they could do. But I think right now for us and future generations, we have too much at our fingertips to continue to uh, you know, to continue, certain things, certain patterns, certain you know how we raising our kids. You know the things that we've cut out. I'm talking about personally here between me and you. You know some of the things that we just have called bullshit on in our upbringing, and that we've
Right.
changed. You know what I'm saying? We need to make that a little bit more clear for our other brothers and sisters with kids, and just let them know, man, I don't know. I'm trying to phrase it without getting too deep into it, but you know what I'm saying though. Like,
Right.
you know, it's,
Nah, I
yeah,
feel you.
because
It's
I'll go into a whole
necessary.
nother topic.
Nah, it's necessary given the fact in the breakdown in our culture. You feel me? Like, yeah, we already know everybody wasn't slaves. You feel me? But there was a breakdown in culture across the board to the point, like, you know what I mean? It's certain things that we did to survive up till now that other people are having to, our people are having to be inventive about doing. You know what I mean? That first thought man had of survival, we having to be inventive about as well as go without. So that to me signifies we have to go into that spirit realm. I know for me, it used to be times I used to have to tell myself I'm not hungry. You feel me? When it went food. So it's almost like me spiritually convincing my body, hey, I run this shit, not my body run me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? My thoughts is constantly centered around the food because my body hungry. You know what I mean? It's almost like realigning yourself. But I said all that to say it's like we had to realign ourselves for so many generations to the point it's like I'm ready to, do that final realignment so we can move forward. You realign your car so when you move forward, you're going in the right direction. And it's just time that we realign our families. We
mm,
start with the leaders of the family, the mother and the father, as well as, we form a children. So we have to go, into our childlike self and recognize the issues we still dealing with and, not hold that against the next person. Make sure we not holding
right.
that against the next person or acting that shit out on the next person. It's too often we acting like what we used to, not how a person treating you. You know what I mean?
And yeah,
But,
shit.
but shit, I can go on and on. Like we're gonna let that be part one. Um, hopefully, like we talked about last time. Next time we can get some more of the family in here so we can get the table filled up.
Yeah,
Once we had a full course meal either way with a little bit of desserts, you feel me? And we still got
you gotta get
fed.
them niggas. You gotta get them a couple days heads up. And they don't want to answer the phone and
You know,
shit.
I know. I know.
But, but shit, well, you
I'm the
ain't have
one.
another topic?
Man, shit, we can go. Hey, you ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying, I understand niggas. I'm the head of the ratchet nigga foundation. I understand niggas. You feel me? And too often we be down on ourselves, but niggas got a powerful place in the world. They was calling us niggas when Duke Ellington was goddamn doing magical shit. You feel me? It's calling me a nigga when Percy Julian was synthesizing plants. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things you kind of learn to cling to your greatness, not to mention shit. We got to deal with the origin of shit. The origin of that word nigga, regardless to how motherfuckers decide to spell it later on, comes from a collective title of royalty. Negus. You feel me? Um, it's just one of those things motherfuckers got to bear witness to, whether you like it or not. People have changed the definition over time to make things fit a paradigm that they wanted to put forth. You feel me? And we as a people, we gotta understand that we got that power too, but also we got the power to go back to the origin of shit and shit, see our truth. Because in the beginning, you was doing that shit. And what I mean in the beginning, I don't mean no Bible shit. I mean like nigga, in the beginning of your culture, you was talking about you. So there's always a place for you in the world, just like it is today. Ain't nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So if you really want to find you, it's a way to, to me this time back into what we were just talking about. A lot of times we feel like we can't find ourselves in the world. But through me doing research and wanting to see, what I'm saying, where I fit and find empirical data, not to just try to justify my place in the world, but to, what I mean, prove my place in the world. You know what I mean? Like I always felt the shit. I always felt it. No matter what lies was told to me, I was only upset because I knew that shit wasn't true. You know what I mean? But when I received my confirmations, it was like you can't fuck me over no more with the lies. You can't fake me. You can't shake me with the lies. Cause I know for myself as well as I'm constantly expounding on what I know. To the point it's like, it just sharpen you even more to the point it's like at some point you get you get to a place where it's like, damn, you know what? I never stopped learning, but I ain't mad about that shit. I don't feel like I want to reach a plateau no more. I don't want to reach a place where it's comfort or I ain't got to struggle. You feel me? I realize a lot of our greatness comes from the chaos. So I appreciate the resistance. You know what I mean? Without the resistance, you can appreciate your place and going against
Mm-hmm.
the grain and overcoming that shit. You appreciate people who've been through a lot of shit, not motherfuckers who ain't been through shit. So I learned to appreciate all the sacrifices I done had to make. Going back to what we was talking about, like conversations that had with my parents, like man, when I was like early 20s and just really trying to find my place, I just had to come to the conclusion, like, yeah, people they raise you a certain way and they don't even realize what they doing. But overall, it's a universal conspiracy going on for your greatness. You feel me? And sometimes I used to be like, man, why y'all acting like this, bro? I'm the nigga y'all raised. You feel me? I ain't asked to watch Malcolm X. I ain't asked to be woke up, called champ every morning. You feel me? Which made me relate to Muhammad Ali once that was put in front of me. But through
Yeah.
all the studies of the greatness of our people, I ain't just stick to the Muhammad Ali. I ain't just stick to the Malcolm X. I went on further, learned about different people. Frank Williams, one of the first people to lead like a all black militia. You know what I mean? To protect black people that were being persecuted and like they still being today. You feel me? But just the sign of manhood. These are things that was hidden from us. But at the same time, my parents put this shit in front of me, and I don't think they recognized what they was doing. So when I started acting on it, I recognized for sure, like, they don't know, look, you put this fire in me. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And now I know I got something to stand for. I'm gonna stand up. But they don't realize the programming that was put into them. They seen a lot of strong men in their life. And they also, had to watch these men be tore down. You know what I mean? Like we watching today with Morgan Freeman and Bill Cosby, you feel me? Through the watching of these strong men standing up and being powerful people in their lanes, you know what? It's a lot of young brothers ain't gonna stand up that would have. You feel me? Should that narrative last on its own. You feel me? This is a powerful time where we can cross correlate each other's narrative. You feel me? They can have that mainstream narrative, so-called mainstream narrative, because we know now social media is the mainstream. You feel me? We get all our information from that shit, but we can't sit back and be quiet no more. That's one thing I learned. It was a time and a place for that shit. Not to say they was wrong when they did. That was survival too.
So, in your opinion, kind of reverting back to your first question, what do you think is the how do we start to reverse the symptoms, uh, and like I mean, there's only so much we can do as a group, okay, let me just put it like this. So to 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 start a change as a community, we have to realize we got to start a change on the individual level. So instead of waiting, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of waiting for, you know how somebody get to, they about to get to fighting, or somebody get to fighting, and you know what I'm saying? You see somebody getting their ass whooped, but everybody's scared to break it up until somebody jump in to break it up, and then now everybody trying, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in the mix type thing. We got to be, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it is as far as like revolutions are concerned. Nobody want to be the first one to revolt. You know what I'm saying? They always, you know, there's so many bystanders. But I think because, you know, consciousness is so spread out amongst our people, it's hard for us to check a real temperature on who is conscious, who's paying attention to what's going on, and how to really come together and deal with it. But in my opinion, um, what you do, the way you walk, the way you dress, you know what I'm saying, the way you carry yourself will speak volumes to everybody. Uh, like, I mean, just little slick things that you do, you'll see other people. Like, if you go to the same store, you'll see people starting to, like, if you do something that's a little bit against the grain, people will start to pick up on it. When you see people, you know what I'm saying, the same people come to your little corner store,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, they'll pick up on your swag. They'll pick up on you know what I'm saying? And I think it's just everybody got to start with the individual change. So what is wrong with you? What could
Mm-hmm.
you be doing better?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Um,
Uh, let
like,
me
and
jump
this is
in real
kind of
quick.
off. Hold
Go
on one
ahead.
second. This is kind of off. You know what I'm saying? Not directly. Let me take these headphones off. Hold on, cause I feel like I'm talking loud as hell.
Nah, you
but
good.
but this is kind of, you know what I'm saying, off the topic just a little bit. Not really. I remember I was buying smokerellos, right?
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I'm finna start buying papers. I started buying JOB 1.5.
Right.
Nigga, do you know everybody that will come into the little Antioch market? You know everybody started buying JOB 1. It wasn't never no JOB 1.5s when I went to that bitch. But nobody smoking them bitches at first. But
Mm-hmm.
niggas had to hear me asking for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Now
saying? It's
you
just little
just
shit like that. So look, I started going to Quicksack. Same thing. Ain't never got no JLB 1.5. Like, yeah, also everybody smoke joints now. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm
right.
saying? It's just you know what I'm saying? It just let you know how easily, you know what I'm saying, the power, or how powerful suggestion is to
Right.
some.
Right.
You know, we naturally curious. That nigga got some JLB 1.5. Man, let me get me a pack of JLB 1.5. You know what
Not
I'm
to
saying?
mention,
And nigga,
did
them
you
bitches probably
notice?
sat in a nigga cup hole. He probably never rolled them hoes up.
You hear me? And did you notice, like, around that time, you feel me? Other people, like, it's going back to the concept I said, like, it's got to be a conspiracy of shit, as well as you got to notice the conspiracy of shit that happens when you decide to make a change or when you
Mm-hmm.
do anything. You notice the so-called ripple effect, or just like
Yeah,
the wind going by your face, you feel the results of the shit. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about that shit, it's like for me and you, I want us to get back to the shit we used to do. Like we started making shirts. You seen how that shit changed shit. You know what
oh
I
yeah.
mean? Like it's almost like we can say we was a part of the change, you know what I mean, from at one point in time hood clothing became like a stereotype for what was bummy. And we was like I felt like we was a part of the wave of, creative minds or imaginative minds that was like shit, nigga, I'm gonna do me. You know
And
what I'm
didn't even
saying? And
really
we
know
changed
it
the
was stuff.
whole way to the point you seeing Gucci. wanting to come together with urban designers or people who've been cutting up their shit and making it ours for the longest. You feel me? So when you think about that, like it's time for us to come back with our shit. You feel me? Like I feel like through us doing our thing, just same as we talking about when you do different shit, you see other people come with it. You know what I mean? Like through us as brothers coming together and coming up with a conglomerate of shit that we can do, just starting back with the shit that we first started off with to get the creative juices going. Like that's something simple we could do across the board between the two of us. Go back to designing, you know what I mean, shirts and coming up with shit that we felt like needed to get that kind of attention. You know what I mean?
And can do it on a whole bigger level, cause nigga, we was ironing
Hell
on letters, one letter at a time.
yeah. With the iron on, nigga.
Nigga, like damn, this bitch crick. I gotta rip these bitches off and start over.
You heard me. You heard me. But them shits was fly though. Everybody wanted them motherfuckers. Talking about the shit was so lit to the point, nigga, I called myself skipping school, nigga. My mom would have came up to the school to get one of the shirts, nigga. I'm gone. Shit. Damn business blowing my cover. You heard me? Like, get his money
Yeah,
to your brother. Like, and where you been at?
right.
Man, I was with Tyrone. Damn, you should have told me. I just
Yeah,
knew I'm finna be in trouble. I'm like, bro, you gotta take me back to the school that we just pulled up. But like I said though, getting back to the topic, like I feel like they still coming full circle to the solutions as well. Uh, like I see what you doing with the yard sale stuff. Like I definitely want to get with you on like a whole different segment on that shit because I feel like just your understanding of the business end of that as well as what led to you even considering that shit. You feel me? Like that shit can do wonders for a lot of brothers out here just wondering where to start. They got that creative mind to go out here and get it on their own, as well
that shit.
as that bravery to, what I mean, not depend on nobody. You know what I
It
mean?
ain't even,
So
bro. It ain't even no need to wait. We need to go ahead and plug that right now. For anybody who got
well,
some
shit, go
money,
ahead.
yeah,
All right, so I'm a position that shit then. So
yeah. I
you
mean,
being little bruh, I peep game. I'm sitting back. I'm like, damn, what the fuck, bruh, doing over here? This nigga don't even work for these motherfuckers doing up. So I'm like, shit, what bruh doing? So the way I want to ask you, like, what made you be like, man, fuck it, bro. I can't work for these motherfuckers no more because shit, I was working for you before your ass stopped. You know what I'm saying? And as well as a few other brothers, you know what I'm saying? We was working with you. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
what led to you moving up in the corporate world, so to speak, you feel me? And then just saying, you know what, this shit ain't gonna never be enough until I do it for me.
yeah. So let me. I got a slick in order to really go through this thoroughly to like give a full scope of what I was thinking. I gotta kind of brag on myself a little bit. So,
Man, you better. Cause niggas won't
so
know unless you better.
yeah. I mean, people who from Nashville will know what MLK is. I went to MLK, right? That's where I graduated from high
Yeah.
school. Uh, and scholarship offers from everywhere. I had somebody come and take the family to dinner from a couple different schools, like recruiters for academics, not sports. Like, uh, I was accepted into Yale. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I ended up going to UT. I went to UT for 1 year. Now, I get to UT and I'm talking to the counselor, and I'm realizing that I have to take classes like English. I'm like, English, bitch, I speak English. Okay. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? You go to all these classes, and I'm like, damn, I know all this shit. Like, this shit's so irrelevant to what I want to do or what I thought I wanted to do in my life. So when you go to like a magnet school, but you live kind of a little bit away from the magnet, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the magnet school is one thing, but um I didn't live preppy. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of goes against the grain a little bit for a lot of people who go to those schools. Like you get
All
a
right, bro. Back
false,
up a little bit.
yeah.
You on the camera?
You said what?
I said back up. You all up on the camera, fam.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, when you go to these schools and then you know what I'm saying, and you live a slight different lifestyle, like you getting like a weird mixed reality. So when you don't live like a preppy lifestyle, but you go to a school high in academics, like you feel a false sense of reality, like you know what I'm saying, everything's gonna work out for you because you went to this school type thing, right? But then your ass is black though. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to the college and you ain't feeling it, all of that, them accolades and all them academics and all of them, things that you did in those high school years is null and void without that piece of paper. Uh it don't matter at all. So, I get out into the workforce. Uh that shit's garbage. Like you getting paid pennies, you know what I'm saying? So of course you gonna most niggas we get sucked into the hustle for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? You get a F, you know what I'm saying? You realize, that jail life ain't for me. I'm not about that life. So I'm not finna run these streets. You pay thousands of dollars to get the F off your record. You know what I'm saying? Like you go through so many emotional things in a short period of time. And then, you give your loyalty to a company, uh, and then it just never pays off. It's sad that it takes to go through all that stuff to realize that I need to do something for myself. Like what the fuck can I do for myself? Like I'm doing everything for everybody else and for everybody else's satisfaction. What do I want? What am I gonna do for myself? And when I came to that point, I realized that I was never taught to work for myself. I was never taught to do anything for myself. I was always taught to do what was gonna be best for society. But you know what I'm saying? That don't work for everybody. Everybody don't want to be a doctor. Everybody don't want to be a lawyer. And everybody don't want to be a slave for work. At the time when I came to all these realizations, I'm working at a wholesale company. Now, whenever you come to that realization, no matter where you working at, just realize that you need to start paying attention to the paperwork. Because if you like what you're doing, go into business doing whatever you're doing for yourself. If you have a passion at all, figure out how to monetize that shit right now. Because that will bring you the most happiness you'll ever get in life. When you can monetize the things that you like to do, because that's something we're never taught. We're taught do this, do that, do this, and everything will work out. Otherwise, you're gonna have to live like this. No, do what you like to do. Figure out how to get money doing it. Period. Like I said, I was doing the wholesale thing. Man, it's so easy to get wholesale merchandise. Everybody liquidates their wholesale merchandise. Y'all take y'all ass. Y'all get on bstock.com. I don't care if you have to wait till you get your next tax return. If you want to flip merchandise, take your ass and get on bstock.com. They doing liquidations of um merchandise every every day.
How you spell that?
Target, Walmart. I mean, the list goes on.
Bruh.
So
How you spell bstar.com?
bstock.com. Now,
Is
before
that
you
B
jump,
or V?
huh?
Is that B or V?
B as in boy.
Okay. All right.
Before y'all jump in there, you know what I'm saying? Feet first. Familiarize yourself with merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Because this ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not gonna enjoy doing what I do. But the point is that you can make money doing what you like to do. And for me, I ride around. I link up with people local. I just ride around, meet up with you where you want to meet up at. Boom. All right, here go the thing. Boom, give me the cash. You know what I'm saying? Just like a everyday hustle type thing. And then I do a whole bunch of eBay. But I mean, I get to pick up my kids. I get to spend. I work when I want to work. You know what I mean? Um, and that's the thing I like about it the most, because work is work. You're gonna have to work. You know what I'm saying? We not meant to not work. We're just not meant to be slaves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care
Mm.
if we were in primitive times, you're gonna have to work to build that damn house and to grow your crops. Like, you're gonna have to do something. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Are you happy doing it? You know what I'm saying? Everything is gonna, for you, everything is gonna go back to you being happy. You know what I'm saying? Happiness, love is the two key things. You know what I'm saying? If you're not both of those, then you probably got problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and I'm not saying that you won't have problems with happiness. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're gonna have issues that arise, but you know what I'm saying? It's key to be happy in life. You know what I'm saying? But if anybody is interested in just buying stuff at a discounted rate and flipping it, it's easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't be stopped. Get your little money together, buy the shit, and flip it. Period. Make sure you pay attention to descriptions and details. Um, Anybody can do it. You need to get a little state ID. I mean, tax return. You know what I'm saying? Little shit is free to apply. You just get your little, Tennessee seller's certificate, whatever, for whatever state you in. You know, it's a cakewalk. You know what I'm saying? Um, you need to have a place to store all the shit because it comes in pallets. Let me let me just go ahead take y'all into the little warehouse real quick. Hold on, let me flip my camera.
Yeah, show them how it works, cause a lot of people don't realize how simple it is to show them. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them hands-on people myself.
Yeah, so I mean, like, hold on. Like, this pallet right here is all automotive shit. Now, I got some stuff that's customer returns. I got some stuff that's brand new. But you know what I'm saying? Simply put, you're gonna get stuff on pallets like this. You know what I'm saying? Um, I mean,
That shit like store inventory right there, nigga. Like you got a little warehouse right
you know what I'm saying? Like, this pallet right here is all like handicap or medical equipment. You know, I still gotta go through these, but just pay attention to what you're spending. You know, that pallet right there is all automotive. I mean, like,
there. I understand.
that's exhaust system on the top right there. That exhaust system worth like $300 with the yellow band. And for the pallet, I paid less than $300. You know what I'm saying? So for the whole pallet. So I mean, and then this is just
See,
a little
all
bit
it
of
takes
stuff that I
is
get
a
right
little
now.
bit of investment in yourself.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's so dark in here. Uh,
We get the gist
but
though.
you know what I'm saying? But y'all get
Mm.
I get the gist of it. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Just gotta start somewhere. Like, I wish I could see this one right here. This is all brand new Target merchandise on this pallet, but I need to put a light up on this side. Y'all get your little pallet jack off of Craigslist. You know what I'm saying? They like $100 something, but this is all brand new shit. Cups, uh, just home good type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's got a bunch of little dollar merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that for kids. Do a little yard sale one day type shit. Easy bake ovens, and just little shit. But you know. And then of course, you know how I do, bro. On the side, I got my little construction shit I do.
Right, right. Gotta get
You
out
know,
how you live.
yeah,
Shit,
man.
might
Shit,
be
I got
better
some
than some
little,
shit you
yeah, I got some little
huh?
custom furniture and shit. I gotta build. I gotta make I got a bed. I gotta make for somebody this
Oh
week.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
got
you
a
should see
paint
this
job.
shit I've been checking out though. Hey, you seen how they be
Yeah,
building these beds with the pallets and shit? Shit, matter of fact, hold on to a few pallets for a nigga if you don't need to throw them away.
well, shit. That's another thing, man. Make the most out of everything. I sell my pallets. There's a
Oh
place down the
yeah,
street buy them like 250 a pallet.
two
Boom.
fifty.
Yeah.
I thought them motherfuckers go for like seven.
Shit, you can get them for 7. I don't know who buying them for 7, but that's great.
How much they go for?
I mean, when you selling them back individually to like a larger company, they typically buying them for like a dollar 250. At least around
Mm.
here, I don't know
Nah,
about.
I was just thinking like I wonder how much they sell like pallets for like by themselves.
I don't know because they sell them. The place I sell them to, they fix them up and then they wholesale them to like companies that need them, like big companies. Uh,
Hey,
so I
you
mean, I'm
say
sure they're
you
selling them to them for like you know $4-5 a pallet.
right. I wish you could see this motherfucking these designs they got, bro. When I say platform beds, hanging beds, all kind of shit made out of pallets, bro. Making
Mm.
the grow beds or whatever, how people be lifting them up off the ground and shit. Man,
You
I'm
said,
talking about a whole bunch of ideas. I was like, bruh, I gotta show bruh this shit.
yeah. I mean, one thing
Uh,
I say, man, a lot of people don't know it, but most people will make good carpenters. If you don't have a skill or a trade, just start fucking with the woodworking. Like this shit, I mean, it's slick easy. Like you take a measurement. If you got the tool to do the cut, then I mean, the tools do the work. Like I mean, like little simple shit. Like just to let people know, man. Like what I'm saying. I did grow up doing a little bit of construction with my family and shit. But like, what I'm saying, this is just one of my little creations right here. This an odd little spot right here, right?
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just built a little built-in little thing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Put a couple little shelves in there. You got a little decorative border on it.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
be
it's
hard.
you know what I'm saying? So like people don't even know that they, you know what I'm saying, have the talent or you know what I'm saying, or whatever to do stuff like that unless they damn you gotta try. You know what I'm saying? Just put yourself
Man,
out
they
there on
say
some
the
stuff.
difference between a pro and an amateur is the pro just do it and let the magic happen. You feel me? The amateur sit back and analyze and analyze and analyze, and never do nothing.
Yeah, man.
It's a person with a
But
whole bunch of info on the topic.
yeah, that's the thing. Like especially with the wholesale thing, you know what I'm saying? I danced around it for a little while, but you know what I'm saying? There's only so much dancing you can do. You gotta jump on in there. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
it.
Go ahead and get
And
in there, get it.
even with the wholesaling, I want you to put something on your brain, man. I think you can materialize that wholesaling same concept into wholesaling of the houses. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing with that shit is like basically being a middleman. You feel me? Same thing that you doing that. You feel me? You being a middleman as well as having to be a salesman to an extent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it would hurt for people to learn how to pick up some salesman skills because we always selling ourselves. You know what I mean? No matter what we doing, we are representing ourselves. And based on how we represent ourselves, it determines how somebody is willing to, invest their time, money, etc.
You said,
But
say that one more time. You,
I was breaking up. I was saying like I would encourage people to, look into some salesman skills. Like,
oh
we
yeah.
always selling ourselves, you know what I mean? And with the wholesaling that you doing, you can take that same skill. of finding product and materialize that into like how people be wholesaling houses. They find the
Mm,
properties that people need to get rid of, as well as find buyers that are looking
mm,
for properties for certain prices and make their money within that margin. Same way you doing with the products.
yeah. Well, something you said kind of made me think about this. On another note, instead of selling ourselves, like you said, we need to start giving ourselves too. So, um, if somebody was interested in uh, wholesaling, like that's free info. Come on, hit me up. Like I'm not worried about no competition, man. There's so many people in the world. Like, let's get it. Like, what do you want to know? Like,
Straight up.
man, let me figure out how to get into this carpentry shit. Come on, nigga. I got a table saw, I got a miter saw, I got every kind of saw. Nigga, I show you how to use them all. Come through. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Like,
what's up then?
shit. Like,
Next
we
live we
gotta
can
go ahead.
next live we can go through like a demonstration of how you set up, you know what I'm saying, when you doing your wholesale. And then we can do one of, what you building like a cabinet or whatever. You feel me? Just you know what I mean? You know how
Yeah.
we are as a people. We like to see demonstrative proof, you feel me?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes
I can get it
it
set
take a
up to where
while.
I can just, yeah. I mean, yeah, you right. Like, whatever, man. I'm all about. You know how I am, bro. I get my last for just about
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
Long as you ain't just a fuck nigga, I fuck with you.
Man,
Uh,
and even the fuck niggas, we done been around for them. We done had to goddamn build you up. You know what I'm saying? Cause just being around the right people gonna make you
the
come
only way,
around.
no, well, for me, the only way I know that you a fuck nigga is if you done. If unless I know it, and if I know it, I can't fuck with you.
I'll
I,
talk out
yeah,
the TOPs.
you
That's
know I
straight
cut
up and down.
fucker off.
You got to. It's too much on the line. Like we said, the battle lines and the front lines is with the family. So we got too much family on the line. Play any
Hmm.
games, but we open to the family. So we putting that olive branch out there. So
Yeah.
with that being
You can't-
said, like you wanna leave a contact or something, since you know what I mean, we offering talk to the people, or you just wanna come
Anybody
back and
want to hit
visit.
me up just to ask any questions about anything that I do personally? Is Mel dot glass GLASS 3 the number at gmail.com. Mel.glass 3 at gmail.com. You can hit me up. I'll give you the whole rundown on the B stock thing. I'll show you how to look for shit local where you live at. Like B stock's not even the only place I buy from. We got a Essex warehouse, Essex Logistics, um, in Laverne. You know what I'm saying? Right up the street from Nashville. So I mean, I can just pull up over there and just pick shit up like this. You know, I mean, especially down here where I'm at. I mean, it's a whole bunch of little wholesalers. You got Optoro, you got Essex, you got Bargain Hunt. I don't know if people heard of Bargain Hunt, but Essex is the warehouse for Bargain Hunt. But you got man, what's the other little joint name? I can't even think. I ain't never bought from them. But it's a bunch of little places where you can buy wholesale. Um, we gotta, that's one thing we gotta understand, that the stuff we spending our money on don't cost nearly as much as how much you spending your money on. You know how much money you spend. You buy a TV stand that costs $300 and that bitch all wood. Just know that shit is marked up. Like 50 times. Like wood ain't expensive like that. You know what I'm saying? Not for no TV stand. It's probably just the name that's on it and the little design, the little creativity that went into it. But they mass producing them bitches and they charge a 300 a pop. They get the wood for like $1. You know what I'm saying? So um, I don't know, man. It's deep with the wholesale thing and with just economics in general. Is deep, man. How marked up shit is. Uh, I mean, like it's just even for simple shit like my son he into Pokemon cards. Like you get a good little set of them. That shit's like, $20, $30. It's paper. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could just, I mean, I can anything that's plastic, it should be like $1. It's plastic. Like, you know how cheap plastic is? Nigga, it's plastic. Like you paying $50 for a toy box? That shit plastic.
No,
Man, get your ass online, get on offer up and find that shit for half price.
you better know, and then you can't. A lot of times we paying for convenience. That's what they get us at.
Yeah. And then that's one thing we gotta, I mean, the statistics say, and I'm not the one that go for statistics, but I know how my previous spending habits have been. But the statistics say that black folks spend the most money on shit. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
and I tend to believe that one. Like I said, I ain't the one to just accept a statistic, but I know my personal life.
Right. Right.
Uh,
But for myself,
you
shit.
know what I'm saying? But I think part of that is I don't think we got as much of a attachment to money as other races do either though. Like we understand that it's paper, so we don't mind blowing that shit. Like we're gonna get some more. Some more gonna come
Right.
back.
Right. Right.
But uh, you know what I'm
We
saying?
just
'Cause I
gotta
mean,
get more
shit,
strategic how we spend money.
you just got to get more strategic about how we spending it. Um, Because if you ask me, this dollar currency ain't finna last too much longer anyway. They finna go to a
Mm-hmm.
one world currency. So, um, you know, it's all gonna boil down to self sufficiency, man. And like I said, this wholesaling thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not staking my whole life claim on that. That's just where I'm at right now. I'm always trying to put my hand in another bucket. Like what else is
Mm-hmm.
going on? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like Bruno, he'll tell you right now, I got a little garden going. I done switched. I'm full vegan now. I'm trying to produce everything I eat. Who
You
I'm gonna
feel?
pay for it?
Mm-hmm.
Why I'm gonna pay for it? Like seriously, why would I pay for it? Uh, when I can grow it. And
Right.
that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? They got us locked down with that food thing. If they shut down Kroger right now, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh,
Stop.
so you ain't gonna eat, nigga. You can't grow cheeses. You better start getting your diet right. Get your mind right. Can't grow
Somebody
cheese.
next to you gonna start looking real good.
Man.
All that booty niggas looking, they gonna be looking real good. Huh?
I don't know
That
too many
shit gonna
people.
be.
Yeah, I don't know too many people who can go hunt down a deer and gut them and
Mm,
clean them, and you know what I'm saying. Everybody can't do that,
mm-mm.
but guess what you
They ain't
can do?
ask.
Pick an apple.
I wouldn't even say they can't. It's just you out of the habit. You ain't had to, so therefore you don't know if you can.
Well, shit, I'm just saying. Some people that can't even. I'm saying some people physically can't. They ain't about
Oh
that
yeah,
life. Ain't
yeah.
nobody.
At this point too, some people,
Well, I'm just
yeah.
saying, ain't nobody. Man, everybody that can't deal with blood. Just saying, straight up. Like, there's no way they'll be able to defeather a chicken. They'll faint.
Right. Some people can't even cook their own food.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? McDonald's shut down. What you gonna, who can make your nuggets?
I
Shit,
don't know
niggas,
what they gonna do. And what kind of nuggets is this?
man, let me tell you, they don't get that soft naturally. It ain't just chicken breast. They keep on lying if they want to.
Man, I learned a long time ago how somebody can put something in front of you, you think it's food, and it ain't what you thought it was. You feel me? Granddaddy got me with them gold nuts in exchange for chicken nuggets a long time ago.
Yeah,
Talking about
man.
some mountain oysters and shit, nigga. Hell no. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Nigga, I got your mountain oyster. I don't think I want to eat shit you cook though.
man. That's another thing. We need to, that's one. Let's just go ahead and make that clear right now. Everybody listening, start researching the shit that you eat.
Mm-hmm.
You are, you eat. You know what I'm saying? If you eat dead, then your ass gonna be dead. Like people kill me when they say it don't matter what you eat. Please tell that to my grandmother who just died of cancer. Please tell that to everybody in my family right now who got high blood pressure that's on high blood pressure medication. Please tell
Right.
that to everybody I know that got diabetes. Please tell that to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Please tell
How
them you
can
can pray over the food and you won't get that shit.
you know what I'm
Like
saying? So like if what you put in your mouth don't matter, then go ahead and just eat you some go
cornstarch.
yeah, just no, go ahead and just go eat some go eat some rat poison then. Let's see
Damn,
what
you
that
was
do.
there. Fuck it. You can pray over that rat poison and goddamn go for it.
Yeah,
You
man. Like
silly hell.
I mean, like that's foolish to say what you eat don't matter. Like, come on
It
now.
do.
It
And we
absolutely do.
talked about earlier how the body.
Okay. So if you was born right and you didn't eat
Mm.
shit, and you didn't eat nothing, you would die. So what you eat has to matter then, don't it? Like it shit keeps you alive. Duh. So like if you have low quality of food, then you won't have low quality of life. If you have high quality food, you can have high quality life. If you have no food, you have no life. I mean, I don't even think we gotta even talk about that no more. Uh, it's called what is it called? Let me make sure I tell y'all right. 'Cause I'm deep on the Curlian photography. Kirlian. Curlian photography. All right, so basically what this is, it detects the energy fields around a given item. So like
Mm-hmm.
under this particular, what I'm saying, type of photography, you can see the 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 energy field that an apple is giving off. And then they'll show you like, what a cooked apple or like a baked apple. You know what I'm saying? You'll see a reduced energy signature. Man, you get to looking at that shit and look at some meat. You know what I'm saying? Like what you eat matters. You know what I'm saying? You want energy, eat something that's giving off energy. Anything that can grow from the ground, that's what you eat. Anything you gotta hunt down, don't eat it. I was on the pescatarian thing for a long time, but I mean, ultimately I had to get that shit up too, man. Because I mean, I'm the type I'm not finna ignore no facts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Um,
I ain't looking for them
uh,
just to ignore them.
yeah, I mean, not just to suit my taste buds, my tongue. Like, it ain't that deep for me. Like, I mean, you know me, bro. I gets in that kitchen. I cook every meal for my family. I still do. I cook every single meal. Like, I don't.
I
My
guess
wife don't.
that's the important thing about it though. You gotta
Yeah,
kind of take control over certain standpoints too though. Like a lot of people still subject to what other people cooking.
yeah, exactly. That's true too. But you know what I'm saying? Like we were saying at the beginning of the stream, like what about you? Y-
Who are
you
you?
Who are you? What you eating? Forget what they cooking. What you eating though?
Right. What do you want to like for me? I had like a problem with like metabolizing what I wanted to do into my actions. You feel me? Like all the way down from my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like my parents would tell me what to do, and I wanted to do that shit, but somewhere down the line, it wasn't. You know what I mean? It wasn't coming to fruition, and I wasn't acting it out. So I used to always get mad, like be inside myself mentally having this battle. But over time, I started realizing like it's something wrong with the connections. You know what I mean? I hear it, I comprehend, but the connection is not being made to create that balance in my action. So for me, I got sick. You know what I'm saying? I had ulcers real bad. So, I had a problem in the area that I was making more important, you know what I'm saying, than anything else because I was worried about feeding it. You feel me? And even that area told me you got to cut this shit out. You know what I'm saying? And then cutting that shit out, I started thinking like, damn, hold on. I want to change my diet because I want to improve my brain function. You feel me? And having that inception or that idea, everything else fell into place. I started learning about different ways that I could change the things that I eat or different things that was conducive to what I wanted to change. You feel me? So
Mm.
when I started eating these things after a while, I started realizing, oh, that's a vegetarian. Oh, okay, that's you know what I'm saying. That's a person who eat fruit all the time. You feel me? Like that. Oh, okay, because people putting the labels on you, like, oh, what are you, a
Yeah,
vegetarian? When they see you eating, you ain't got no meat on your plate, or you go somewhere out to
yeah,
eat and you don't want the meat. They like, what? You don't want the meat? What you mean? What you gonna eat? You know? Like
right.
seriously,
Like
bro.
that's crazy. Like think about how crazy this is. People ask you when you're a vegetarian, so what do you eat? Nigga, I eat vegetables.
What do you eat?
Okay, but think about this though. The most important thing when you was growing up was to eat your vegetables, right?
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you'll get in trouble if you don't eat them all.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they the
I go
side
back
dish.
to me telling
That's
you
the
I'm the
side.
person I was raised to be. Shit.
Hold on, but that's the side dish.
Yeah,
The most,
that's the
the
side.
most important, the most important thing is the side dish.
Hey, that's how it work
And
out in relationships. The side chick usually wind up being the new wife.
would you say?
So I said it's almost like how the side chick almost like, in relationships when we was growing up. Side chick wound up being the new wife. You know what I'm saying? And for us, the sides became my new wife.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Keep the
that's
other
our
hoe to the
salvation. You feel me? Our great counterpart. The stimulation we get from vegetables and fruit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and I ain't no raw vegan. I mean, I don't sit here and just eat a whole stalk of romaine lettuce and no shit like
Right,
that.
right,
But
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
You can't say you ain't
uh,
gonna get to that point either though. Cause
yeah, I
your
mean,
taste
it's
buds
just you know what I'm saying. You
slowly
got to
but
just
surely becoming more natural.
yeah, it's just you know what I'm saying. You got to get back to your roots. You're a real human, so you need to eat real food. That's all, basically.
Hmm. And
Otherwise,
your
yeah,
I was just gonna say, can you tell like I know for me, my taste buds like they're constantly changing.
hell
And
yeah,
if I had to look back in hindsight, right now, I would say my taste buds are becoming what they was meant to be. So therefore, when I taste natural fruit, I can appreciate it more.
yeah, bro. Like 2 years ago, I was eating chicken every day, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like you know what I'm saying? Chicken, 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 nigga. Um, I don't even crave no meat. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it will change. You know what I'm saying? You have to want it here first. You know what I'm saying? You gotta actually want it. Um, and the only way a lot of people get to the point to where they want it is to actually understand what's going on with it. Like understand what it's doing to your body and why you shouldn't
Right.
have it first. And then
Hmm.
naturally you'll be like, man, I know I don't need to. Like knowledge is power. It's one thing to eat chicken and be like, I don't see nothing wrong with it because you feel fine.
Right.
But try going a year without eating chicken and then try eating some chicken and see how you feel then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's called being used to it. So like nobody ever eats, you know what I'm saying, a salad and it's like, man, that salad fucked me up. Like, come on now, like that shit don't happen. So, um, but yeah, man, understanding why you shouldn't eat something. So like what is a purine? What happens when you ingest purines? It produces uric acid in your blood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't. Who got a food course when they was in high school? Who learned about food health? Nobody.
Shit, the most we got was the that fake pyramid.
Yeah, and then they change that shit all the time. Now they got a plate, nigga. They got a plate. What happened to the pyramid? They got a plate with 4 sections on it.
Yeah, right.
What happened to the pyramid? What happened to all that milk you was talking about drinking? Talking about it make your bones strong, but now they came out with a study talking about it causes osteoporosis.
Come on now.
You gotta have equal magnesium intake with your calcium.
Mm-hmm.
And milk is not the greatest source of it. When you take in large quantities of calcium, you get a calcium deposit when your body don't know what to do with it.
We ain't
It
gonna even
becomes
talk about the
deposit.
plus.
Oh, and then yeah, and I mean, you know, milk is, you know what I'm saying, pasteurized. I mean, a lot of times this apple juice you see is pasteurized. It means it's been killed. Shit dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? We gotta pay attention to them things. You don't want pasteurized products. I
And we
mean,
gotta kill something to put it in our body. It ain't good in our body alive either. Like you don't see
no,
nobody
I
picking up
mean,
no fish and trying to chew that motherfucker.
yeah, like anytime you have a animal product, excuse me, in liquid form, y'all think about this. You got an animal product, liquid form, it's pasteurized. That means they done heated it up to kill off all the pathogens swimming around in your milk, then strained it to get the solids out, and then they refrigerate it and give it to you. That's your milk. You know what I'm saying? Now, with all of that shit being done to it, it's not drinkable. You can't go and suck on the bottom part of a cow and just enjoy that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They have to do so much to that shit to make it, you know what I'm saying, even drinkable. And in the process of doing all that shit, they kill all the life that's in it. That shit is made for baby cows. You are not a baby cow.
Right.
I
You
don't
ain't
see nobody
constructed
drinking.
to take on that much
Yeah,
protein.
man, I don't see nobody drinking no gorilla milk. I don't see no camel milk.
Cause they know they ain't built like that.
Man, ain't nobody drinking no puppy, no dog milk. So why is a cow any different?
Mm-hmm.
Because they give it to you. Come on now. Like, please go milk you a horse right now and pasteurize and drink that shit. You ain't gonna do it.
I would rather you not.
Ain't nobody gonna do that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the critical thinking that we lack. That's part of the, you know what I'm saying, um, just being real that we lack. Like we gotta, you know what I'm saying, we gotta wake up to the little shit, you know what I'm saying? They got you pouring on that shit on your cereal every morning. Quick little meal too.
I'm
You
trying
didn't
to
gotta
tell
cook. You
you.
ain't gotta put nothing in a toaster or nothing. You just bring it out the fridge, pour it. Might take it with you.
You heard me.
Eating that shit going down the street.
Boy, I remember this day. And now I can tell you what led to them also.
Man,
Yeah, really.
like I'm so disgusted by milk. Like, golly. Especially when I just think about it. I see people, like when I be at Sam's or something, I see people, they have like 10 gallons of milk. I be like, golly.
So you think that's something? Try walking through the food court and they cooking meat, and you like, I don't know why, but that shit make me feel like they cooking rats. Like I'm not even nowhere near attracted to it.
Man, I don't want none of this shit. I don't want no chicken fried rice.
Man, I
I
be
don't even,
thinking about that shit like, bruh, like the way the shit is cut up, the tendons on the meat. I'm like,
yeah,
bruh, these niggas probably catching rats in the mall. You know what I'm saying? Like they probably got, you know what I'm saying? I know
ain't
they
no
got
telling.
traps for the rats, period, for
Ain't,
one.
ain't no
Cause you in the
telling.
mall. Bruh, they feeding them. That's free meat.
Yeah,
I ain't never
yeah.
seen no damn meat truck pull up to the mall.
How you go
I ain't
to the
saying they don't.
Yeah, how you go to the buffet and they got like 4 types of chicken and all of them look different. Nigga, it's
They're like
white meat
different
and dark meat.
species.
What the fuck
Like,
is this shit?
what is this? And why does
Nigga,
meat taste super?
I just thought it was
Sweet.
white meat and dark meat, nigga. This shit, what the fuck is this?
That shit, man. I'm telling you. And then you get to thinking about like, the different cultures. Like in different cultures, that shit ain't what it mean to us. You know what I'm saying? Like eating a
Mm,
rat ain't the same in the different cultures. So
yeah. Oh,
if you eat different cultures' food, it's like you gotta take that shit into account. Like no this or none of that shit. It just take into account the differences. So you don't
mm.
find yourself being bamboozled, thinking you bought some shit that ain't.
But
Because
see,
chicken, you can
yeah,
call it's something else that's out there that's food that you can call it some, and it ain't really that. You feel me? It's like we've been calling it that shit, but it ain't really what we call it.
but see, here
So,
the thing though, like if you think you eating some chicken and you really eating, some crow, I don't know.
mhm,
It ain't no difference though. It's
it
your
really
feelings
ain't.
gonna be yeah, your feelings just gonna be hurt because you thought you was eating chicken, nigga.
It's
But
still
shit, meat
foul.
is meat.
You
Meat is
still
meat.
eating a
You could go,
foul.
yeah, you could go eat a gopher. I mean, meat is meat.
Right. You still eating a bird when I say foul. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, shit. Like you okay with turkeys and chickens, but you ain't okay with everything else. Like, why
I
not?
don't know though. I
You
wouldn't be okay with eating a rat, doing a rat. You know what I'm saying? Rat be eating all kind of shit.
well, shit. I mean, chickens eat their own shit, and we know chickens is one of the most diseased animals there is.
Nigga, ain't tell me about it. You know I know.
Birds, we got bird flus and avian flu, and you know what I'm saying, and
But
salmonellas, and a lot
I
of
used to,
diseases come from chicken. I mean, a lot of it's due to the conditions too, but um, a bird will get you sick. Shit.
man, quick. You feel me? And it's just because you taking on different germs that are foreign to your body.
Yeah, and DNA.
And
You know what I'm
foreign in the
saying?
sense that it's not
Horizontal
productive.
gene transfer. Everybody need to look that one up. Horizontal gene transfer.
Hell yeah. And that's something that we deal with on many levels. You know what I'm saying? You can have a what's the equivalent of a horizontal gene transfer when you well, what's what can be compared to a horizontal gene transfer when you deal with a person that's knowledgeable versus a person who's blissfully ignorant. You feel me? That
Hmm.
person that's blissfully ignorant gonna pick up some knowledgeable shit just from being around that motherfucker, even if they never sit down and actually try to teach them shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And honestly, I feel like, that's kind of like the parasite and the host relationship that we have with a lot of people that we come in contact with. Because as a people that's like, even though we've been stripped of our culture, it's still a certain energy field that comes along with us appearing the way that we do, as well as it comes with a duality that comes with actions that are conducive to the point when we're in chaotic situations, that's when we come on like a light bulb. You feel me? Like the electricity hitting that light switch. You feel me? I mean, after you flick that light switch, you know what I'm saying? That bulb come on. And honestly, it make you look at a lot of things different. Like, you know, get to a point where you start evil and good kind of go out the window. Like you can have them for sake of conversation, but the way that you used to look at it based on like Christianity or whatever religious background you may be coming from, it kind of go out the window when you refer to yourself more from self identity versus um identifying yourself from a religious purpose or some shit.
Hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you.
But I want to say that shit for the next time because you finna have to go make sure these babies sleeping out, running around this house, as well as man, trying to make sure that I put this stream up correctly. But man, I definitely appreciate you fucking with me on this stream. Man, if you ain't doing too much tomorrow or whenever, bro, I'm trying to do it as soon as possible again. You feel me? Oh,
Yeah, man. Shit, I'll make sure we, you know what I'm saying, bring a couple more people in next time.
all
Uh,
right.
and we need to just make sure we share this. Uh,
Right, right.
and just keep it.
You know, that's what I'm
Saying,
finna do.
yeah,
Peace to the one viewer in there. You know what I'm saying? Salutes and love to you. You know what I'm saying? We finna get up out this thing. But we appreciate you coming through, as well as the future viewers that's gonna see this. But we gonna wrap this thing up. You got anything you wanna say before we go, bro?
man. Hell no. See y'all next time.
So you wanna just do it on Sunday, or you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
let's
All
just go
right,
to church on Sunday.
all right, we're gonna take them to church on Sunday then. Get on the round table. But shit.
Yeah.
All right, it's over and out. Love you as myself. Peace to the family, mother, father, child. Gold mine signing off.
All right, bro. Love you, bro.
Love you too, fam.